Hello and welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports. Today, I'd like to talk to you about one of my favorite cyclists in the pro peloton. If you don't follow professional racing, you may not know who this gentleman is, but his name is Egan Bernal. He's from Colombia, and he is the first Colombian to have won the Tour. Now, he won it in 2019. 2020, he had the DNF, lots of back problems. I mean, this is a relatively young man, 23, 24 years old. But he had a lot of back problems, so in 2020, he DNF'd, did not finish. And then in 2021, he won the Giro d'Italia. So now he's won 2 of the 3 Grand Tours, the Tour de France, the Giro d'Italia, and the only one left is the Vuelta a España. There aren't that many cyclists who have won all 3. I think there's only like 7 or something like that. And that's how many years and how many cyclists have been racing. So I wanted to take you through the timeline. And the reason why I wanted to talk about his timeline is because I've crashed and broken quite a few things in the past. And to a certain degree, I've pushed the recovery process a little bit, but I mean, this gentleman's recovery is amazing. So let's back up to January 11th. January 11th is important because he signs a 5-year contract, renews his contract with Team Ineos, and he signs a 5-year contract. I mean, this is big news because it's rare that people get long contracts like that. 2 years is fairly common. 1 year is much more common. So we got 5 years. And, only like someone like Pogačar, who got another long contract with Team UAE. But very few people get these long contracts. Cycling in general is just not a very good way to make a living. I mean, if you're not winning anything big, you're just not going to make a good living for your family and everything else. You're away from home. You're away from your family. Many times you are on a different continent. So in his case, his family lives in Colombia, and he lives in France. So, this is a very difficult thing for him, to go back and forth and visit his family and things like that. Anyway, that's January 11th. Signs a 5-year contract. January 24th, he has a horrific crash. And he breaks like 20 bones in his body, loses a tooth, his thumb, his patella, just all kinds of injuries, vertebrae and the like. And there's a 95% chance he would have been paralyzed from this crash. He's going 50K an hour into the back of a stopped bus. And that is the worst thing that a cyclist or motorcyclist can do, is hit a stationary object. We are much safer if we're allowed to slide and tumble and get a ton of road rash, but we usually can get up and get back on our bikes. January 11th, 5-year contract. January 24th, crashes. Very bad crash. Then the next couple of and I'm going off of his Instagram, so you could follow this too, but I thought I'd save you the trouble of doing the research. On January 28th, we see pictures of him in the hospital, all screwed up, gives a little thumbs up. And then we see another picture, February 3rd. A picture of him in the hospital. I don't know if he was still in the hospital, but that's when it was posted, February 3rd. February 10th, this is the big one because they show him walking under his own power. Now, he's got this massive neck brace, back brace, and very, very stiff, but he is walking under his own power, doesn't have a cane, doesn't have crutches, nothing. And I'm thinking, wow. I mean, he had a femur problem, he had a patella problem. So, I mean, these are very, very serious injuries to the legs, which are, for a cyclist, I mean, could be career ending. February 16th, he's now on a recumbent trainer, right? So sitting back like this and just pedaling. The music that's playing in the background is terrible. But he's there, he's pedaling. I don't know, I mean, he looks like he's on painkillers or something, because he really just looks spacey. I mean, he's not even smiling or anything. So I don't know why that was posted, but again, progress, right? And then on March 12th, he's now kitted up in the Team Ineos kit. He's on his road bike, on the trainer. And so we've gone from recumbent on the 16th of February and no entries until March 12th. And then on March 27th, we see him outside. And he's riding, and his caption for the ride says, "The happiest day of my life. I am back on my bike and I'm outside." So that, I just welled up with, good feelings for him. January 24th, March 20, did I say the 27th? He is outside. And then on the 28th, he's riding with some mates and he does an attack. And his caption says, "Either I haven't lost it or they haven't improved much." Basically teasing his mates that he attacked and got away. And, it was only 3 or 4 of them riding. And then on April the 2nd, he did a Zwift ride. And apparently there was 5,000 plus other riders on the same ride. Now, this is April. The Vuelta, the only Grand Tour he has not won. And as far as I know, he's never even raced it. But the Vuelta a España is in late August, early September. Now, of course, when he first crashed, all we really wanted him to do was be healthy enough and not be paralyzed and be able to ride his bike again. Now I'm getting hopeful that he might even just do some exhibition race this year towards the end of the year. Is the Vuelta a España just too ambitious as a fan for him? Maybe. That's only about 4 or 5 months away. It has to be an enormous amount of fitness that he's lost, especially at that very high intensity. So we'll see. Apparently he's starting to do more volume again, so I'll have to look at his Strava. He doesn't post all the time, so sometimes you see something on Strava and sometimes you don't. But the outlook looks pretty good. He's riding. You could see some pretty spirited riding from him. Did the Zwift ride. I don't know what his numbers were for that ride, but I'm very excited. You should, if you'd like, you should follow his progress. I'm going to leave his Instagram handle down below in the description. But if any of you have ever crashed and have had some pretty serious injuries, ribs or femurs or anything like that, you'll know that the road to recovery is very difficult. So it is awesome to see him back on his bike and possibly might do a late season race. That's not what he said. That's not what's been promoted. That's not what Team Ineos is saying. I'm just being hopeful. That's all. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in. Please follow Egan Bernal on Instagram. He is pretty good about posting. And then some of his other mates post other things too. So you'll get a more rounded picture from some of his other riding teammates. Okay, that's all for today. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.